All right, so got out to Texans rookie camp, got to get a brief look at C.J. Stroud, Tank Dell, some of the other rookies. Will Anderson, he was sent to the podium. I asked him an interesting question about his jersey number, and he said something that I don't think I can relate to it, but I respect his hustle. Let's go inside the locker room.
Yeah, it's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey, locker room. Yeah, we in the locker room. Texas talk. Yeah, you know what we.
All right, so the Texans rookies made their on-field debuts today. C.J. Stroud was throwing it around a little bit. Tank Dell returning punts. Will Anderson going through some light drills, and Will Anderson was sent to the podium. He was asked questions about, Nick Saban, Alabama, role, expectations, all that. And I decided to ask him about something that I cared the most about. I've heard all this, background. I've heard about Saban. I've heard about, rookie expectations, but I wanted to know, why the hell did he choose number 51? Because when we were talking about jersey numbers, like, we didn't even entertain the possibility that Will Anderson, who's rocked 28 and 31, that he would be rocking number 51 in the NFL. I thought it seemed a little bit random. So I asked Will Anderson, what went into the thought process of taking number 51. Here is the newest hopeful face, one of the faces of the Texans franchise, Will Anderson, answering my question about the jersey number.
Players here.
Landry Locker, Sports Radio 610. Why 51? How did we come to 51? And what was the thought process behind that? I know it seems like a small thing, but that's got to be a little bit of thought put into it.
Yeah, really, it's just the number they gave me. Right now for rookie minicamp. I mean, just being at Alabama and them giving me the number 31. My coach told me just make a name out of it. You know what I'm saying? So if 51 decides to stay here, I'm gonna do my best to just try to make a name out of it and just be me. So I mean, numbers really don't matter to me.
So tap the brakes on buying the 51.
We shall see.
So there's a couple things about this. Number one, I would not buy 51 yet. I would wait till after camp. Maybe some of the roster gets trimmed up and some other jersey numbers open up. But it is pretty wild, though, because I'll speak for myself. If I'm a blue chip recruit going to Alabama with how highly recruited Will Anderson was, I'm asking for my damn number. You're not just throwing me 31. Now, he did, like he said, it was a goal. He did make it something. So I'll give him that. But me personally, hell no. You're going to give me my number. And then in the NFL, number 3 overall pick, they tossed you 51. Like he's like the kid on the C team or something like that has to just settle for 51. Pretty wild. But when you hear about Will Anderson, you hear what a lot of people say about Will Anderson. It might not surprise you too much. I made up like a PR thing. I was talking in the back, and I was like, if I were him, I would just say 5 sisters, 1 goal, because he's got 5 sisters. So I would say it's for my 5 sisters, and I got 1 goal. Be the best I can be. Something like that. But they just threw in 51. It does seem like it could be a possibility. This could be one of those instances where you go out and buy the 51. And I've already told people, don't buy the rookie jerseys yet. Wait till next year when they're at Ross or TJ Maxx and buy the new jerseys. Not good marketing, I don't work for the Texans. I'm not on the marketing squad. I don't care how many jerseys they sell. I want them to sell some, and they're still going to have no problem selling it. But I would wait till next year. But on the 51, if you are a Will Anderson guy or girl, I would hold off, because I could see an instance where maybe 28 opens up, or maybe 31 ain't opening up with Dameon Pierce, but I would hold off on it. But I just think it says a lot about a guy that has that much pedigree going into college and going into the NFL, and they just throw him a jersey, and it's just like, whatever, make something of it. Maybe he makes something of 51. The dialogue around Will Anderson has been kind of interesting. Everyone keeps talking about expectations. What do we want to do? We want 9 sacks, 10 sacks? Is that what we want? Do we want compete for rookie of the year? My expectations got to be one of the best players on the defense and has to gradually improve. That's really it. And then eventually you got to get to a point where, he's a Pro Bowl caliber player. And that's just to validate a top 3 being a top 3 edge guy. Those are expectations. Pro Bowler in a couple of years, keep getting better, be one of the best players on this defense that doesn't have a lot of proven talent on it, or at least high expectations. That would be my expectations. But you keep hearing national media types and seeing national media types talk about the trade, and he has to validate the trade. We've made it clear. That was a package deal. That was a CJ and Will package deal, and you had extra compensation to do it. So if anyone's doing that, just consider them an outsider. There's a lot of times you kind of stiff arm what some national people are saying about the Texans. If they're still talking about they traded this for Will Anderson and comparing it to stuff, just ignore them. Ridiculous, but crazy that a guy of that caliber just gets a jersey thrown to him like Johnny on the C team. Subscribe, like, right along. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2, Sports Radio 610 in the Odyssey app. I'll be out at practice. We're going to get players throughout training camp. We get players, we get ownership, we get coaches on the show. So right along, number one source for daily Texans digital content. Going to have a live tonight talking about the rookies, probably about 7, 8 o'clock. So right along there, we like to interact and do our thing there. Appreciate everyone for coming through. No matter what happens with the Texans, though, whether it's 51 stays or not, we're all in this together. Have a good weekend.